quick video to show the software from Simon Brown, HB9DRV, particularly SDR-RADIO, which is a software-defined radio program, and Ham Radio Deluxe, which is a transceiver radio control program. Ham Radio Deluxe has been around a long while. I suppose a lot of people would be familiar with it, and in this case it's connected to a Yaesu FT-2000, which you can see in a smaller window with any luck, and software-defined radio, the SDR-RADIO version, is relatively new, and this is a beta version number 774 that allows external radio monitoring as well. So in this case the FT-2000 has an IF-2000 board inside it, which takes the intermediate frequency and sends it into an SDR-IQ radio, which is by RF space, and the IF-2000 board is by RF space as well. And that audio and frequency data is monitored by the SDR-IQ and routed back into Simon's SDR-RADIO software. So on the receive side, using the FT-2000, we can see a whole spectrum. We can do a lot more with the audio. We can process it, filter it, add some noise reduction and so forth. But it's all driven from the FT-2000, and it's also controlled by Ham Radio Deluxe. So this is really just to show you all of the programs working simultaneously and synchronized with each other, because up until now that's been pretty hard to do. So you can see that the FT-2000 is set to 7.15496, which is showing up here in Ham Radio Deluxe. And if we listen to the output of the FT-2000 direct, this is what's going on. So this is what's coming straight out of the back of the FT-2000. And we can tune the FT-2000 simply by sliding this along. See if we can find something. I'll try around there, see what's going on. So this is standard Ham Radio Deluxe stuff. We've got things like a logbook, which is linked to it, the HRD logbook. And if I go to log a contact, for example, it's all synchronized up. So here in the frequency display, it's the same as here because they're locked together. So if I wanted to log a contact, it's all set up here, ready to go. I can log the call sign, and all the data and information will appear magically. Fill it all in, says who I am and so forth. Come back to Ham Radio Deluxe. This is what it sounds and looks like. If we run the SDR-RADIO software, turn down the FT-2000, we can connect this to the SDR-IQ, so it should be receiving the same thing, but it'll allow us to process the audio and everything should stay synced up. So we can see the SDR-IQ at the top. I'm going to hit start. We've got some stuff coming out, pretty low stuff at the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to set the external radio to connect to the FT-2000, which is on COM port 11. We'll connect it up. It'll take a few seconds to come up, and there we go. Now there's one clever thing I'm doing between this. I have virtual serial port emulator running, and that's allowing Ham Radio Deluxe and SDR-RADIO to communicate to the FT-2000 both at the same time. So what I've done is I've set up a splitter here, which is taking COM5, which is the COM port the FT-2000 is connected to, and it's splitting it to COM port 11. That allows me to connect 2 or 3 programs to COM port 11, and they'll both route to COM port 5. So Ham Radio Deluxe is connected to the FT-2000 on COM port 11, and SDR-RADIO is connected to the external radio COM port 11 as well. So they're both talking to the FT-2000. So now if I turn this up, we're listening to the output from the SDR-IQ, which is taking the audio from the FT-2000 and processing it. So immediately we can see a whole band of signals, not just the one that we're looking at. So here I can see there's a signal. I can click it. It jumps to the middle, and I can hear it. So we're a bit off frequency, so I can drag it down a bit. Suddenly we've got something going on. I've got some fairly heavy noise reduction going on at the moment, so I'll turn that off. Here we go.
Okay, no problem. Good propagation in this night on 40 meter.
So you can see I've just changed the frequency in SDR radio, and it should be reflected in 1000. It can be a little slow to catch up sometimes because there's a lot going on, but basically changing the frequency on the radio itself, we can see everything shifting, and we can see the frequency changing in SDR radio. Back it comes. And also in Ham Radio Deluxe we see the same thing. Again, it'll take a little while to catch up. Now once the signal's in SDR radio, we can do all that stuff that we might want to do. We can change modes, we can change the width of the signal that's coming in, and we can add stuff like the noise reduction. But all of a sudden,
Okay, thank you again. 23 and good access for you. Ciao, ciao. Secure DX, secure 40. This is India, Zulu 1, Tango, Mike Sierra. Over.
so we can see we've got this nice noise reduction in there. The noise reduction is being added to all the time. We can do all of the crazy stuff that you can do with software-defined radio. And also, if we went to transmit, it switches off the SDR-IQ in our external radio here. You can just see it switched off. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully, that's a bit confusing, but hopefully it's clear enough to get it understood. And thanks very much to Simon Brown, and looking forward to the next release.